Can you hear me now? I think I got it working. And not surprising, whenever we want to... Yes, thank you. Whenever we want to do something useful, she wants to update firmware. The plan tonight is to look at one of the variable stars in the constellation Drago. This is the project that I will be supervising students in Oswego to do. This particular star, RW Drago, or Dragon, has a period of 2 hours. So if we start imaging it around 10, we will see it change in brightness over the 2 hours. We have broken clouds everywhere and thunderstorms coming up the coast. But I want to gather some data. Students begin their project on June 1st. So I want to be ready with some data to give them. How have you been? Still working for the government? I cannot believe I've been gone for 3 years. It'll be 3 years in 2 weeks. And I miss it a lot. Not. Not a bit. And there comes a satellite. Okay, I'm going to keep the Skycam on to get a rough idea of what a fool's errand we are pursuing tonight. Last day is Thursday. You mean in 2 days? Congratulations. Good for you. Congratulations. We have the same retirement date.
Firmware update succeeded.
All right, she says firmware update succeeded, so it's time to put her outside the window. As in time to toss her overboard. Open arm. Thank you for telling them to come over here. The temperature here this morning was in the low 30s. We had frost, which is, I don't know if you know what that means, but it's looks like ice on the grass. So I'm waiting to see Polaris or some star. Hello, Matthew. We were talking about frost on the grass this morning here. The weather is not going to be useful for much, but I'm going to attempt to use Seestar with if we can convince Stellarium to talk to it. To try to image a variable star. It says connected. Let's see if it has any idea where Seestar is. No clue. Okay. It knows not where Seestar is. Well, let's see if we can send it places. Okay, it's still saying, okay, sorry about that. We need to run the Seestar Alp first. My bad. You coming up to Cherry Springs? Hello, Jeannie. We know there are clouds and the like. We know this is not Polaris. Let's see if restarting Stellarium is gonna help. Zena, I'm trying to use Stellarium because it has the ability to find the variable stars that are not in Seestar's catalog. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do things in an orderly manner. First, we start the Seestar Alp, which worked very well the other day. I want to make sure that we are connected to station mode. Yes, we are. We run Seestar Alp. And then we see if Stellarium will connect. Please, please, please. Come on. Well, yesterday everything worked. It says connected. I don't know if it is to be believed or not. Okay, we're gonna wait for a break in the clouds. No, my mic is fine. Expecting a challenge with the clouds tonight, but as soon as I have enough break in the clouds, I want to try to find RW Dragon, and then try to image it. Hello, Bill. Let me tell you what we're doing tonight. This summer I am supervising 3 students who will be using multiple telescopes from Mr. Meade all the way to the 16-inch Meade to try to develop light curves for RR Lyrae. If you guys are not familiar with these stars, these are variable stars with periods of only 1 to 2, 3 hours. So they go from minimum to maximum in a couple hours. Tonight I'm attempting to look at RW Dragon, which is one of them, to see if with Seestar we can capture images over the 2-hour period from minimum to maximum. The difference in brightness here is it goes from 11 to 12, magnitude 11 to magnitude 12. I know it's going to be broken clouds all night, so we may or may not accomplish the task, but we're going to try nevertheless. And if any of you guys is interested in the project, I'm going to give you a link to the Milwaukee Astronomical Society, which shows a calendar of the various RR Lyrae. Yeah, the thunderstorms are to our southwest. According to Astrospheric, we should have 2 hours of clear skies between 10 and 12. That's why I picked RW Dragon. It's supposed to peak at midnight. Magnitude peaks at midnight, and the cycle is 2 hours. So if we catch it, as soon as we can calibrate the telescope and we'll get on it, then we'll just take lots of fits and then stack them in bunches to see if we can detect, if we can plot the magnitude. The 3 students are all undergraduates, 1 electrical engineer, 1 computer science, and 1 physics. My job is to teach them the scientific method of how to start with a problem, make the hypothesis, make assumptions, identify tools, design an experiment, conduct an experiment, gather results, process the data, and then publish them. And they have 6 weeks to do that. We're hoping that we'll have at least one clear night in 6 weeks. Hello, Isobig. We got one of the alumni of the University of Oswego to donate a stipend for the 3 kids for the summer, so they would not be working at Burger King to pay the rent. Hello, Jacob. You might be interested in what we are doing, namely trying to image an RR Lyrae variable star. This is a project that I'm sponsoring or supervising this summer in Oswego with 3 students. And the plan is to image them and plot the light curves and illustrate, demonstrate, show, whatever, measure the variation in magnitude. If the clouds permit us tonight, we'll be looking at RW Dragon, which has a magnitude it goes from 11 to 12. It is supposed to peak at midnight with a 2-hour period, so we're going to start around 10 if the clouds allow us to start around 10. Looks like Stellarium is talking to Seestar. I'm happy with that. But for some reason it's not displaying it. Maybe because it's unable to plate solve? I don't know. So this is the size of the telescope, the field of view. We're going to go to that's one nice thing about Stellarium. It will load the entire RR Lyrae ephemeris. So all I have to do is point to RW Dragon and say, go there. Ta-da! Oopsie. I'm just going to sit on it until we have a break in the clouds. That's what we're looking for. And you may be able to see the corresponding, yep, we are right where we need to be. Don't know what those lines are, but you can see the two stars up here, and they are up here. And there is the bright star there, which should be HD 150, 116. And if we zoom in here, come on, be a sport. Doesn't want to let me. Okay, never mind. But this is what we are trying to look at. Back to the clouds. Hello, Otto. Zina, we don't have enough time for me to start listing all the issues that I have. Matthew, I had a surprisingly disappointing experience this morning looking through a 16-inch telescope, the big Meade in Oswego, with an eyepiece that was supposed to be a very expensive, high quality, and I was underwhelmed looking at, granted it was the moon during daytime, but I was underwhelmed with the detail that it showed. Otto, since you are late to the party, we will be spending quite a bit of time this summer imaging various RR Lyrae. These are variable stars with short periods. I will be supervising 3 undergraduate students. to teach them how to use telescopes and how to measure light curves and display them. And hopefully by the end of the summer they'll be publishing a paper or presenting a paper on it. Jacob, if you look at the RR Lyrae, some of them have periods as short as 1 hour. And I'm still looking for stars with wide enough variability. Most of them appear to be about 1 magnitude, between 10 and 11, 11 and 12. My favorite eyepiece is the the ASI585 from ZWO. You have not done much visual astronomy. I do it mostly with the grandkids because there really is no feeling that compares with looking at Jupiter or Saturn through an eyepiece. Well, with a sky like this, you have to have a sense of humor. When we look at the weather forecast and they say, we're expecting clear skies in July. And I'm tempted to ask, which July? Yeah, the other night I collimated my 11-inch scope. I was happy with the collimation using the Tri-Batinov mask with Sharp Cap has a tool to help with collimation. Collimated, got everything ready, went upstairs and decided to pull up the weather forecast, and it said, thunderstorms expected in 8 minutes. That was the end of the night. Rushed down, closed the dome, parked the scope, and made it back in time before the downpour. Bill, Mr. Mead is likely to get the ASI 662 at this point. I'm still trying to hook it to a computer, but short of that, we will use the hand controller to enter coordinates and send it to the right place. Hi, so big, what part of the world are you in? Northeast Pennsylvania, that's right. Okay. So you're not too far from the very dark skies in north central Pennsylvania, Cherry Springs. I was going to say I ran into an Amish buggy today, but some might take it literally. I saw an Amish buggy on the main highway today, 4-lane highway. It was in the right lane, happily trotting. No, I will not, Matthew. There'll be quite a few people from the Syracuse Astronomical Society going down. I am an ISTJ. I could never get the E from I took up astronomy and astrophotography and marathon running. Anything to keep me away from people. I don't do well in crowds. Zena, it is indeed dangerous. We have accidents and collisions every year. When an SUV collides with a buggy, take a guess who wins, or who loses, I should say. Especially here on the country roads where we know that we are living in Amish country and the speed limit is as low as they can afford to put it, and people are still flying over hills at very high speeds with absolutely no visibility when they crest that hill as to what's on the other side. Thank you for your kind words, Zena. So I was mentioning earlier that I obtained a tri-Batinov mask that's supposed to help with collimating SCT Schmidt Cassegrain telescopes, and I used it to collimate my 11-inch, and I was reasonably happy with the results, but I have not used it yet. I am limiting my collisions this year to garbage cans. Don't know if you heard, but a garbage can on a windy day took off and slammed into my Toyota Camry, and it caused about $4,000 in damage to the car. The garbage can was just fine. It's a plastic can. Toyota is a plastic car, but the headlight, the driver's side headlight, was $984 to replace. And then all the sensors on that side. And I learned the hard way that when they talk about radar, they literally mean radar, because it did not detect that plastic thing at all. It did not see it. It did not slow down. It did not brake. Because there was not enough metal in it, it did not detect it. I have not tried to see if the radar will detect a buggy, but it did detect a motorcycle, and it detected a bicycle. I was surprised with that. Well, fortunately, the insurance paid for the big part of it. And we learned something new. State Farm no longer pays for OEM parts. They pay for aftermarket parts. And Toyota, the dealership, refused to put aftermarket parts. And they asked me if I'm willing to pay the difference between what the insurance reimburses, namely used recycled parts, and what they would use, and I agreed to pay for it. Wasn't too much, but again, that's the state of insurance these days. Yeah, I have not tried to see if it will run over people or not. The only camera that I'm aware of on the Toyota is one that reads road signs to tell me that I'm going too fast. Again, unfortunately, it does not feed that information into the cruise control. It only feeds it to the insurance company to adjust my premiums. By the way, just a hint, if you have in the app from your insurance company installed on your phone, then in all likelihood it's gathering data on you about your driving habits. It is somewhere in there when you agreed to install it and you said yes to the terms. It measures your speed, acceleration, deceleration, how often you brake, and how fast you drive, and it compiles all that to compute your premium the following year. Astrospheric is still insisting that by 10 o'clock we're going to have clear skies here with cloud cover less than 4%. To which we say, I will believe it when I see it. There are several variable stars, RR Lyraes, in M15, Messier 15, and M3, Messier 3. But I chose RW Dragon for obvious reasons. It sits alone. There she is. And the pattern around it is fairly easily recognizable. So when we take the pictures, I can tell which one it is that we are interested in. Part of the research that I will be doing in preparation for the students is to see for a magnitude 11 as to how many images would I need to stack in order to measure the change in magnitude. John Pinto has been keeping an eye on TCRB, and it has not gone nova yet. And if you ask any of the AI tools online, they will tell you that the most likely time for it to go nova is March 2024. And Betelgeuse is still there. Gina, wait till you get out of the government, then you will not see any comments until you get back in. Have you guys been keeping count of how many planes are falling off aircraft carriers into the sea? Bill, I'm sure you'd appreciate that. Apparently, the driver of the aircraft carrier made a sharp turn, and the kid who was towing the F-18 jumped off his tractor, and the tractor and the F-18 both ended up in the sea. Yeah, it's the USS Truman. I don't know if they have a video of the kid jumping off the tractor as the tractor was being pulled by the plane into the sea. That would make for a very funny video. Hello, Pico. Yeah, the Gettysburg shot down one of the F-18s, thinking it was... That F-18 was coming back to land, and Gettysburg thought it was attacking the aircraft carrier, so it took care of it. Seestar is trying to talk, trying to put a word in. I don't know what it's saying. Yeah, one on the deck, one on the left, one in the air. Yeah, I have Seestar sitting outside the window with the window closed. Ah, it may well be that. Charging halted. Gene, this is why in the Adirondacks they use seaplanes, because you can land on a lake. Yeah, these are 60 or $70 million planes. Not as expensive as the F-35. The other problem now is that the Navy is going to get very obsessed about either retrieving them from the bottom of the sea or finding a way to destroy them at the bottom of the sea to preserve any sensitive equipment that may have been on them. Jacob, guess what the Seestar did when I turned it on? It said, firmware update, updating firmware, and did not give me any option to skip that. But I'm very pleased with myself that I was able to put the field of view of the Seestar into Stellarium, so it will show me exactly what I am seeing, namely clouds. Yep, Seestar talks. Yeah, it seems to, it'll also say shutting down. And charging halted. And plate solve failed or whatever. When it fails to find the target, it lets us know that it failed to find it. You are correct, Jeannie. It does say initializing. It does say finding object. Yeah, I've had the new firmware for just under an hour, so I've not had a chance to it even has volume low, loud, mute. Okay, indicators, do not disturb. Okay. That's what I will need to do. Save each frame to see how many we will need to stack per batch. And since we are looking at only one star, should be able to do it in Alt-Az mode. Probably will not need to go equatorial mode on this one, but we'll see. Let me pull up a satellite here. My satellite image, I'm looking at Ventus sky, is showing clear skies imminent. This is the picture that I'm looking at. And we are right here. So if we get a break, yeah, the entire place is cloudy. All I need is a break somewhere here, and it's suggesting that we might get some. The SkyCam is starting to show some color in there other than white. We have not found the target yet, Zena. We're waiting to see stars. Seestar has not see star yet, or Seestar did not see star yet. I will consider tonight's test a success if we're able to find the star and we're able to capture a few frames so I can pass them on to the students, pass the fits onto them, and so they can start writing a program to count how many pixels there are per star, and then find a way to translate pixels into magnitude. How many bright pixels? Considering that the stars in the neighborhood are of comparable magnitude, this is 11.48. This one is 10.85. This is 13.46. That's a 12. That's a 14. So they have enough that if they write a program to count how many pixels are covered by the star, then they should be able to plot the relative magnitude by plotting the number of pixels, bright pixels. I have succeeded in having Stellarium control the 16-inch Meade. It will control my 11-inch Celestron. Now it's able to control the Seestar. Have not been able to control the dwarf with it. I know how much you like the dwarf, Jacob, so no love lost there. Gina, even if we don't get anything done tonight, it was good catching up with you guys. And best wishes for Thursday. Are you actually going to go to Denver, or are you in Denver now? Or are you just going to walk out of the room and slam the door very hard at your house? Okay, I see stars. The Skycam is showing stars, so we may yet be in luck. Is your Seestar talking to you, Bill? For those who did not hear my silly joke, a wife was whispering to her husband and he said, "Why are you whispering, honey? We are alone at home." Said, "I don't want Mark Zuckerberg to be listening to everything we say." He laughed, she laughed, Siri laughed, Alexa laughed, and the Tesla laughed. Hello, Vivante. For some reason, my microphone and AI program are, there is a little bit of a lag in them. Because whenever I buy something, like my 5G, my cell amplifier, as soon as I buy something, they start advertising it for me on every web page that I go to. Have not seen anything lately about the S80 or S70 or whatever they were calling it. Let alone an S200. Hello, Vivant. Not all of them yet. The dwarf is not on Stellarium yet. We're still working on it. In case you are new to this web page, to this channel, we are the only channel that streams live in 4K resolution images of clouds from multiple telescopes. Yep, version 4.7, that's what I have. I get you on the clouds also, Jacob. I bet we get more clouds here than you do. We're on the wrong side of the Great Lakes. You have your Great Lakes to your east. We have them to our west. Ooh. That was okay. We had crystal clear skies this morning. By late morning, I was able to, mentioned earlier, to use a 16-inch scope to look at the moon. You plant at night, Jacob? Bill, I wish I could say that. My answer these days is I let the dogs out, I bring the dogs in, I let the dogs out, I bring the dogs in, and then my wife reminds me that I already brought the dogs in, so I cannot bring them in again. I have to let them back out. And after doing that about 15 or 16 times, that adds up to about 10,000 steps. So I meet my target. Gina, I wish to remind you that retirement is 3 phases. The first phase is the go-go phase. The second phase is the slow-go phase. And the third phase is the no-go phase. So enjoy your go-go phase for as long as you can. I'm trying to transition from the go-go to the slow-go. But my wife and my dogs are conspiring to prevent me from doing that. No, Gina, you're missing the whole thing. No routines. That's the best part about retirement. There is no routine in retirement. You do anything you want in any order you want at any time you want, especially taking naps. Otto, what part of the world are you in? And are you a pilot as well? Because I think we have met our quota of pilots in this group. Western Canada, that's far. Thanks for joining us. In the summer of 2000, I spent a memorable week in Victoria, British Columbia, at the Canadian Olympic Trials in track and field. Yeah, that was a good observation by Jerry Seinfeld. Speaking of Seinfeld, you probably heard that George Wendt passed away today. The Norm Peterson of Cheers. I'm not buffering here. It shows no, it's showing good connection. Must be your computer is retiring early on you or your phone. Good night, Gina. When Zina wakes up tomorrow morning, she will have 2 more days, or 1 day and 1 wake-up call, as we say. Pico, I feel flattered that Seinfeld is my backup. Trying to keep an eye at the rain and thunderstorms. Pico, I really miss Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister. These were my go-to a long time ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give it another 10 minutes till 10:30. If we do not get a break in the clouds by then, I will abandon the quest for now and see what tomorrow brings. If astrospheric is to be believed, and it's not believable now, it says that we definitely are going to have clear skies on Monday. Yeah, Otto, faulty towers and keeping up appearances. There was also one British comedy that did not last too long. I think it was just one season, and that is Waiting for God. Alan, I hope so. I hope so about Monday. Believe it or not, it's cold enough here tonight that the battery has turned blue on Seestar. It has stopped charging. We have dropped into the 40s. Yep, 45. And the weather forecast for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is rain. Yeah, if I dare forget to hold the door for my wife, her reaction to me is always, Richard, the door. The British believe that good comedy is one that you can listen to and get the same laughs without having to actually watch it. We'll get there, Pico, we'll get there, temperature-wise. So if anybody is interested in learning more about the RR Lyraes, they are what's known as short period pulsators, where a star varies in magnitude multiple times. I'm going to post another link quickly. And they show a light curve, which is what we are hoping to accomplish. The light curve that they are showing is for AR HAR, which is on my list for tonight. Looks like the Skycam has crashed again. Yeah, the program just stopped. The next public outreach will be 18 July, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, right now, the focus, my focus and that of the observatory is going to be the 6-week or 7-week internship, with the 3 students to try to image the variable stars and plot the light curves. And when the semester begins in August, I expect to have 3 teams of 3 students working on the telescopes. I still have my big project in mind, and that is the application of artificial intelligence to the detection and removal of satellite trails and aircraft trails from satellite imagery. Sorry, from astro imagery. Bill, that's a very good idea. I shall start compiling data and videos so we can make one by the end of the summer. Thank you. We'll make sure that the video does not include me throwing telescopes at the wall when they stop working. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for what was a pleasant chat, but no scientific data to show for it. I'm gonna call it a night and get some sleep. And any snakes that visit us in the observatory, snake season is about to begin for us.